How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. I'm getting all these videos out in one day, so if you are enjoying what you're seeing, like, comment, sub, and of course, let me know if you guys found anything else. Obviously, this is based on 4 hours per character, so about 12 hours of testing grounds. And I did play with a couple other people I found. Mainly, I ended up playing with 2 rep 70 Orochis and 1 rep 35 Shinobi for a little bit, so I was kind of going based off what they were telling me, but if you guys know anything else, let me know. So this one is going to be over Orochi and his changes. His changes are reasonably decent. They're alright, Alright, so first, they're alright, but they're pretty good. I do see some people complaining about this first one, which is you can cancel any attack into the recovery. So if you do a light, you can dodge and it'll cancel the recovery. Same goes for heavies. Any attack, that's basically what it's saying. And again, I apologize, I do have a sore on my tongue. I bit it the other night, and I apologize if I am having trouble speaking. Alright, as far as light attacks go, they removed the light finisher, the third swing that he would get. They want him to be kind of a 1-2 type character, hit, do something, you know, that kind of stuff. But before we move on to lights and all that, his cancel recoveries, being what they are now, are extremely, extremely strong. Because I've noticed sometimes I make some pretty bad reads and I'll go for, you know, a light attack or something like that, and all of a sudden I see an armored heavy swinging into my face and I'm like, oh, I'm eating that. You're able to deflect now. If you do a light early enough and then you see the armor coming, you can actually just deflect it, or if you can predict what your opponent's doing, their movements, their mannerisms, you can punish them. And there's certain timings that, so the Orochis taught me this when I was playing Raider. There's a certain timing, it's very difficult to get, at least it was for me, maybe not for you guys, but if Raider does like a light attack and you see him going for the heavy armored attack, they were able to tap me, and then they would dodge past the heavy, tap me again, and when I went for the third one thinking, alright, he's going to do another light, so I'll trade with him, they would deflect me. And on his deflect now, he's guaranteed the light there's no heavy deflect anymore, they got rid of that, but he's guaranteed the light deflect, and I think it's a 6 damage light attack immediately after, which is guaranteed. So with Raider's new armor thing, you can interrupt him pretty easily with Orochi if you get your reads completely right. It's very difficult to do, and I had trouble doing it, but they were doing it pretty consistently to me, so props to them. Alright, next up, his dodge attacks. Well, let's do Storm Rush. I'm gonna open up the Google thing and let's go through Storm Rush. Alright, so Storm Rush, which is his back dodge, and if you click the heavy button, how he stands in the stance, and you can do left, right, or up. Now, all of them are undodgeable. All 3 sides are now undodgeable. All 3 sides are now 600 milliseconds total, with a 400 millisecond visual indicator changed from 500, 600, and 700. You can also access this through a front dodge, which we'll get to in just a moment. So rather than doing the back dodge, you can do a front dodge, and I know what you're thinking, why would you want to do that? You can do some dirty-ass setups, and I'll talk about that in a moment. It now costs 12 stamina to enter and 10 to faint. No other stamina costs. It was 10 to enter, it's now 12, and to attack 20 to faint. Alright, so he now has a front dodge kick as well. So one of the things that they were fucking with me on, this isn't a good setup, I wouldn't use this very often, but if you do your 2 top lights, instead of going for the unblockable, you could dodge forward, kind of like Zanhu, and go for the kick. They occasionally, instead of going for the kick, would go forward into the, what do you call it, Storm Rush, and then do one of the directions from there, but that's assuming you have a hard read, because obviously I could tap them out of it if I wanted to, or if I see them dodging, I could go for an attack thinking maybe they're going to go for the forward undodgeable light attack, so be careful when using stuff like that. His Riptide Strike. Alright, so Riptide Strike, now 500 milliseconds down from 600, now has invincibility frames for 300 milliseconds. It originally did not have any. No longer interrupted on a superior block either, which is pretty good. Not too bad. Next up we have His side and front dodge lights, which are his undodgeable, no longer interrupted on superior blocks. You can kind of keep your pressure up if you want to. So basically, with him having all these recovery, dodge out, dodge in, dodge out, dodge in, he can just keep the pressure on you constantly. He can just keep swinging at you. His side heavy finishers now have larger trajectories, so you can catch people from further distances. So, for instance, if you get a guard break and you do a heavy backwards, it would whiff before, but now it connects. That's the best way I can determine telling you guys how big the zone is now. He now moves forward more when he does it as well, so if you just do it normally and they try to dodge back, you're going to catch him every single time for the most part. His deflect, they removed the heavy follow-up, which basically was just style points. It was just if you wanted to go for possibly a double deflect or you just wanted style. Instead, now Wind Gust now forces a reaction on the opponent and guarantees a combo light. As I was saying, you get a free light attack if you land it, which is pretty cool. But those are the changes that he has. He does have somewhat of a flow like Zanhu, where if you get an attack, you can dodge out of it and then go for kind of whatever you want. And if you have hard reads, you can do that dodge forward into Storm Rush, and it's undodgeable at all sides. They have to guess which direction it's going now or try to hit you out of it and interrupt you. His deflect, still good. He still has a good deflect game. Zone is his, it's a zone. And the kick, the bash, he has a bash which gets a guaranteed light attack. That is insane. Doing 2 top lights into a dodge kick into a smack is pretty good. Or if you got your opponent constantly dodging, 2 top lights into a forward dashing light, assuming they don't have extremely good recovery, can also be very good. It's all just about the reads now that you do with him, because moving in and out of the fight is very easy for him now. He can kind of control it at his own pace. The top unblockable is obviously still there, so you still have the threat of letting an unblockable loose, and you also have the threat of having an unblockable bash, which guarantees damage, also being possible. And keep this in mind, he's not losing his recovery or his dodge recoveries on his heavies, so if you, for instance, get a unblockable hit, you could immediately dash into the kick if you wanted to. So he's got a lot of options now. He's very oppressive. He doesn't have armor still, but I think with the sorry, I think with the amount of unblockables and undodgeables that he has now, it's going to be hard to dodge away from him, and knowing that, it's going to be easy for him to set up parries, because he knows if he can lock you down and you can't dodge, you'll have to be forced to try to parry. And if they do implement the new system of no option selects and people do have to go for it, he's going to have a field day. I mean, obviously in higher levels of play there will be more read-based type of things going on, but for instance, if he goes for the top unblockable and you're like, alright, I'm going to go for a light because I know he's going to feint it, yeah, he could very well feint it, but he could deflect you. So it's all up to read on reads, which is interesting at least. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think he's really good, really strong? Do you think he still needs a little bit of work? I personally am a fan of his rework. He's doing pretty good in the testing grounds so far from what I've seen in my time. He's just a good all-around character right now. Let me know what you guys think. I think he's no longer just terrible, which a lot of people complained he was really bad. On console, he's good. I know on PC he's not good, but that's, the difference between PC and console. Because you'll still see Orochi really high ranks in console just spamming lights. You don't really see that in PC. Let me know what you guys think. Am I way off, or do you guys think, it's probably the same? Have you guys experienced the same on your end? I think the rework is good, and I could live with it being like this. There are some janky mechanics in the way he looks sometimes, but that's just because he can recover so quickly that in a fast-paced 4v4 game mode, he's really difficult to keep up with sometimes, but I feel like eventually we'd get used to it. But let me know if I'm just being too kind there, and I am assuming all of us want to have to deal with that. Anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think down below. Is he good? Is he bad? You know, all the fun stuff. Like, sub, comment, share, all the fun stuff. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll be posting one for Raider and Shinobi as well if those aren't already out. Otherwise, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.